So you want to gain weight and you're looking for a way to get bigger, stronger, taller, and also you want to appear more confident, you want to appear muscular as well as more attractive, and you want to appear better looking than others. So you're going to want to stick around this video because I'm going to be covering how I personally went from being a skinny kid, almost 35 to 40 kilograms, like 85, 90 pounds, at 14 years old to 65 kilograms at currently 17 years old. So I went from 40, 45 kilograms to 65. So that's about 20 kilograms gained. This is going to be a long video where I provide a full detailed guide on what worked for me and what didn't, and the mistakes I did, and the things you should start doing, as well as the things that you shouldn't. Open up your ears and stick around this video and listen to what I'm about to say. So you're struggling to gain weight, and you're tired of being the skinny weak kid in the class, and you're tired of looking like a stick all the time in the mirror, and you want to fix that. So my story, I was a teenager, about 13, 14 years old, and probably about 40 kilograms, even less than that. I always remember I was the skinniest guy in school. Skinny neck, skinny arms, skinny wrists, and skinny everything, you name it. And my bones appeared on my physical body, and it looked like I was starving, and I would just get called out by everybody that I was a stick, and I'm guessing that you're going through that as well. And it made me look smaller and younger. I was about 14 years old, and yet people would think that I was 9 or 10 years old, and it was just annoying as fuck. And they have the right to call me 9 or 10 years old, because in reality I appeared like a child. And it's honestly like the shittiest thing that can happen to a teenager, seeing all of your friends and classmates grow while you're still the same size, and everyone else around you at your age is massive compared to you. And month would just pass by and I wouldn't gain any weight. And even when I tried to gain weight, like a month would just pass by and I would step on the scale and I would even lose more weight. And I was tired of always being in that phase, so here's everything I did in order to gain weight and to just completely change the way my physical body looked. And it's really a shit feeling, just like I've experienced. And there's probably a high chance that your friends and your parents don't know the effort that you're putting in order to gain weight. And they don't understand that no matter how much you eat and how much you consume food, you don't seem to change and you don't seem to gain weight because your metabolism is fast and you instantly burn all the calories that you're consuming. But clearly they don't know that, so they just tell you that you're skinny because you're not eating enough. So right now I'm gonna name that everything that worked for me. To listen up, so grab your notes if you want, or just memorize the things that I'm about to say, so you can instantly start doing them, or you can just keep them in mind. I'll start with the most obvious thing that you hear from everyone around you, and that thing is to eat more. I know you're tired of hearing this sentence all the time, but I'll try to tell it to you in a more familiar way. So I'm guessing you already eat a lot, and you know it, and you're not gaining any weight because you burn fast and you have a fast metabolism. I don't know if I'm saying the word right, but yeah, metabolism. Okay. But what you need to do is not only double the amount of food you're eating, but also triple it. So you want to triple the amount of food you're eating in a day. For example, if you eat 1 sandwich every night, instead of eating 1 sandwich, eat 3. And you don't want to eat until your belly is full, but you want to eat until you get the sensation of vomiting. And yes, it's annoying, and yes, it's gonna make you hate food and hate eating. But really, the simplest thing you can do is to just start eating like a monster. And one more thing is you shouldn't skip any lunchtime. So you should try as much as you can to just have all 3 meals in the day. And you must try as much as you can to not skip any meals, because that's gonna hurt your gains. And also, if you want, you can eat more than 3 meals a day, maybe 4 or 5, just as much as you want. And yeah, food is just the most obvious thing and the most important solution to weight gain. And you can ignore food if you want to gain weight. And just don't worry, because when you start consuming triple the amount of food you're normally getting, then naturally your stomach will grow and your stomach will get bigger. And after 3 or 4 months, your stomach will naturally demand more food and it will demand more supply. So now I want to talk about puberty and growth spurt. So for some of you, you might be dealing with delayed puberty, just like I did. Maybe you're seeing all of your friends grow taller and bigger. They are huge compared to you while you're just still the same size and your body is still the same. And it's mentally shit. You start to feel wrong and your parents will also doubt you, and your parents will also wonder what's going on. But luckily and eventually you'll get your growth spurt after a while, and it will come naturally to you. And when you're consuming a lot of food, and not just quantity food but also quality food, eventually you will instantly start growing taller and bigger, and you'll notice an immediate and fast change in your weight as well as in your height. And you can't really do anything but wait until your growth spurt comes, so you can get that push and that boost in your height, in your size, and in your weight. But the only thing you can do is to eat a lot of quality and quantity food, so you can boost the effect that this growth spurt will have on you. So yeah, I'll just make sure to relax and reassure you that it will eventually come to you. Yeah, you just don't have to worry much, because it is just a matter of time that it will come to you. Yeah, like for me, I didn't get my growth spurt until I was mid-15 or 16. So when it came, I had a huge boost and I noticed a huge difference in my shape and in my size. And the signs that you can detect if you're having your puberty right now is you will notice a deepening in your voice. That means your voice will start to get deeper and deeper, and you will notice a sudden boost in height and weight. You will start to grow hair all over your body, and even acne might be a sign of puberty. And if you want to see and make sure if you have delayed puberty or not, is you can go to a clinic or hospital nearby and you can ask your parents to get you an x-ray, your palms and your hands. And if there's a gap between your knuckles, that will determine if you're gonna still grow or if you've reached your potential growth. So if the gap is open between the knuckles, that means that you're still growing and puberty hasn't kicked in yet and you still have potential. And it means that your bones are still getting bigger and bigger and they are still growing. But if there's no little gap between your knuckles, that means that you've reached your full genetic potential and that means that you can't grow anymore. But if you have delayed puberty, just like I did, there's a high chance that there will be a gap between your knuckles that you can spot on the x-ray that you take. This means you'll still grow when the time comes. Now, milk, meat, chicken, rice, eggs, and beans. Just memorize those 5 words. Just always remember that whatever you eat, without these 5, you're not gonna grow and you're not gonna see significant results in your physical body. You must abuse these 5 words and consume them as much as you can. And especially the first item, which is milk. Because milk is just filled with every nutrient you need in order to grow. And please avoid that shitty crap like soy milk because it is proven that it decreases your testosterone. And just avoid almond milk because fuck that, brother, you don't need it. So just consume full-fat natural cow milk if you can. And drink milk every day if possible for the next 6 to 8 months. You might hate rice and beans, and especially beans, because to be honest, who the fuck likes beans? But yeah, it is what it is, and you just have to eat them as much as you can, because in the end, we're looking for the results they have on us, and not the taste that you can get from eating it. One more thing I used to do is I was eating chocolate and chips all the time instead of quality food, and I was thinking that if I eat chips and chocolate all the time, eventually I will just gain more weight, and that would be a good change in my body. And this was one of the biggest mistakes I did, because it made me more skinny fat. It made me gain weight, but I looked more skinny and more chubby. And yeah, it made me first face a difficulty when I tried to change my body and work out, because I needed to get rid of the fat that I've gained from chocolate and chips. It made my workout journey more difficult and longer. So yeah, just avoid the mistake that I've did. Eliminate all easy sugars that you can get, like chocolate and chips, like I've named them, and just all of these useless snacks that you buy at the store. Instead, eat some quality food like the ones that we mentioned earlier. And of course, you can still have snacks, but just don't be too reliant on them and don't get too addicted to them. And you must reduce their intake as much as possible. Now, the next point is sleep, and I'll just make it short and clear as possible that you need to get as much sleep as you can in order to grow, because it's scientifically proven that when you're asleep, your body releases a hormone that's responsible for your growth. So the only situation where you're growing is when you're asleep. And yeah, I know that you can get that much of sleep time because of school and homework and that shit. Or perhaps you were like me in summer and you're staying up until 5 a.m. in the morning playing video games. But yeah, just try to sleep earlier or try to find a way to get more sleep. And you must get sleep like 9 or 10 hours a day, if possible, of course. And if you're playing video games, bro, just reduce them a bit and get that sleep. And if you want to play in the morning, it's okay. Because most people suggest 8 hours of sleep, but when you're in your teens and you're in that growing phase, you must get more than 8 hours of sleep, and you need like 10 hours or more in order to grow. The next important point is exercising. I was honestly afraid of exercising when I was young, and I have no idea why. Because I thought that if I exercised, I would burn calories, and when I burn calories, I thought that I would just get even more skinnier. You might not have access to a gym right now, or maybe you have strict parents that won't allow you to go to the gym, even though it's a healthy thing, but yeah, parents are parents. Or perhaps you're afraid exercising will stunt your growth. And the answer is no, it won't stunt your growth, but instead it will do the opposite of that. But when you lift heavy weights and when you exercise, your body will release a hormone that is also responsible for your growth. So yeah, exercising will just make you taller, and it will make you bigger. It will get you the results that you're looking for. And yeah, it won't stunt your growth because it completely does the opposite of that. So if you don't have access to a gym, it's okay, just do some push-ups from your room. And I aim for like 100 or 150 push-ups a day, and you can climb your way up from there. Now you want to avoid stepping on the scale every week to check if you gained weight or if you lost weight, because honestly, like, it doesn't do shit to you, and it's just a useless thing to do. And if you keep on stepping on the scale each week to check up on your weight, it will just fuck up your brain, and it will just fuck up your mental health, and you will be paranoid if you don't see fast progress. If you want to check your weight in the scale, don't do it often, and do it once every 3 months or so, but don't do it regularly. Now back to food. So the reason I didn't eat much isn't because I didn't want to eat food, it's just because maybe I was lazy. The reason is food didn't come across my mind. Maybe because I was just distracted playing video games all day. I forget that food was the source that will get me up and running. So what you want to do is, first thing when you wake up in the morning, don't procrastinate and just sit on your phone for the first 2 hours that you wake up. So instead, first thing when you wake up, instantly go and have your first meal of the day. That will get you up and running for the rest rest of the day. And if it's late at night, don't be afraid to have a quick snack before you go to bed and before you go to sleep. Make sure to never sleep hungry. So always prioritize food at all times. Try to move your body as much as possible and exercise, like I've said before, because once you get tired and once you're drained out, you will naturally start to feel hungrier, and it will boost your appetite. Now let's talk about mindset. Now I know you've probably been called out and made fun of because of your size and your height and your weight, and I've been through it before, especially when some asshole comes and he wraps his fingers around your wrist because they are so small and his fingers can just fit your wrist. And it's probably the reason why you're watching this video is to change. And you should look at the good side of things, because if you weren't called out by people, then you wouldn't have noticed that you needed to change. And honestly, like, the people that are calling you out are probably losers and they have nothing to do in their life. But we can't ignore that they are right about your body, and we can't ignore that you need to change. Now, you shouldn't give a single fuck about their opinion because it doesn't matter, and you shouldn't give a fuck about what they think of you. Just know that they are right at some point. And one more thing is that you need to have patience in order to see results and in order to notice a change in your size difference. Now, if you stayed in this part of the video, then I'm guessing that you're serious about change. So yeah, just engage with this channel if you'd like to see similar content like this one. And that's gonna be pretty much it. I've covered everything that worked for me and the things that you should do in order to gain some weight, to notice a difference in your physical body. And yeah, that's all I have to say. It's been a long video. Remember, brothers, always take action. Peace.